All righty now. Hi, everybody. I love this song. Hello, 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 family. How's everybody doing today? Good to see everybody. I hope you're ready for an amazing show tonight. I am doing Blog Talk Radio also and YouTube Live. So hopefully my sound is good. Can everybody hear me okay? Because last time I couldn't get any, I should have known something was wrong with it. I couldn't get any comments. So let me check, make sure, is my sound good? Everybody's good? Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to have an amazing conversation tonight. And for the ones that want to call in, the number is 563 999 3682. Okay, that's 563 999 3682. And if somebody could put that in the comments for me, I'll put it in there. We are going to find out how many people are tired of what's going on. The show is called, so if you guys on Blog Talk Radio is trying to look it up, it's called Enough is Enough, and it's Reconstruction 2020, and that is the title. That's, I guess, in order to find my shows, you have to go up under a subtitle. So the subtitle is going to be nope, it's not Reconstruction. Hold on, I changed it. It used to be Reconstruction. It is the changing of the gods, the changing of the gods, and then you'll see enough is enough, and that's what we're calling it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have had enough of I've had enough of everything. I don't understand it. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. And I don't know if you guys are as tired as I am of it or what, but I have had enough. I mean, you have police brutality, you have judges allowing police officers, you write laws, but yet police officers are getting off for the laws that they're writing. So my thing is, New York, you better handle that. You got a judge called, what's his name? Judge Danny Chung, Chun, Chung. Okay, whatever. Um, he was the one that also allowed another Chinese or Asian. It's all the same, Chinese, Asian, I don't know, whatever. He allowed another Asian man to get off of killing a black man. One judge gave him a sentence, and then this judge, this Danny Chung person, came right behind them and gave him another sentence, and kind of uh, allowed, just took away, just overrode the sentence that the one judge. I didn't know you could do that. One judge gave him a sentence, and then the other judge said no. Danny came in and reverted it, and just overturned it and whatever. But my thing is, family, what is it going to take for us to get so sick and tired of what we're seeing? We're really in a war. We are really in a race war, you guys, and I don't think black folk know it. I think everybody know it except us, because we're the only one that's not participating. Yes, well, did she do it yesterday? Okay, I seen it today, and I thought, what in the world is going on? And then I saw something with Sean King. Sean King mentioned something about white Jesus, and the Christians wanted to kill him. Please help me. I can't understand this. You got Christians ready to kill the man. You got the KKK, who call themselves Christians, want to kill. I don't understand. I don't understand murder, Christian, white Jesus. I don't understand. I'm trying to figure this thing out. They actually want to kill this young man. because he said that all of the white Jesus statues need to be torn down. I'm just, I mean, if it's a lie, it's a lie. Why do we have statues that don't look like Jesus up anyway? I'm just saying. Everybody got their gods. Everybody, Chinese got Buddha. Everybody God look like them except black folk. We the only one. Anytime it comes to black people, we always have to serve somebody else's something. We have to always put down our culture for somebody else's. And if we say that we're B1 first, which I am, and everybody knows I am B1, when it comes to my family and black folk, I love me some black folk, and I will tell anybody. And people will automatically assume that you have an issue against another culture. Having love for you. Let me just understand. Let me just help you understand something, family. Having a love for your own does not mean you hate anybody. It means that you are sold out and you're not cooning around, and you are here to take care of your own. You are here to buy from your own. You are here to make sure that your own is taken care of. You are here strictly for your own. Just like everybody else, Trump was here for make America great, right? Okay, Trump was here for his own. He takes care of his own. Everybody else can take care of their own except black folk. We got to take care of everybody else. Ain't that what Obama said? He said it don't work like that. We have to take care of everybody else. Yes, we are dry bones. We are. Yes, we are. And you know what? And I think we need to talk more about that because a lot of black folk don't understand and they weren't taught. And a lot of times, if we were not taught in the church who we are, if it's we can't tell people because people aren't going to believe it because white folk didn't tell you. Now, if your white pastor or your pastor had told you, then you believe it. But because your pastor didn't tell you because he didn't know because he was blinded, and now what you're seeing is the blinders coming off, and black folk waking up nationwide. So now we're understanding who we are, and some black folks have been so damaged mentally through the Willie Lynch and the Stockholm syndrome that we have been told and shown for so long that we are absolutely dog doo doo. That's what they've taught us and that's what they've shown us. We actually believe that. So now it is time for you to understand who and whose you are. And it is time for you to walk up and stand up straight and tall. And this is why it's so important for us to teach and train our own children so that we can start to tear down some of the lies. Okay. Because we've been fed a lot of lies, family. And now is the time for us to tear it down. It's time to tear that stuff down. Get rid of the lies. And let's start telling some truth. Let's start telling people who we are. Let's start telling family members, showing them. Okay, we got the guy on NFAC. Okay, he's been doing some really heavy teaching, and I'm telling you, you guys, y'all don't know this brother. Y'all need to tune in to this brother right here because I'm telling you what, this brother is amazing. This brother is off the chain. Okay, um, thank you, Strange Fruit. I had her to check to see if my sound was good. Thank you so much. But I'm telling you, he's called, I'm going to look him up right now because I'm telling you, if you guys can get on Instagram, you need to look this brother up. And he is supposed to have a function um, on the 4th in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and also he's going to have something in Las Vegas at the same time. And it's called, they're doing not a march, it's a gathering, assembling. They're getting ready to, be locked and loaded. So if you have your license, you don't have to have a license to carry a shotgun or a rifle, but you do have to have a license to carry a handgun. So if you have your license and it has to be out, okay, like in a holster, either your side shoulder holster or a holster, you have to have a holster with it. If you plan on going, you might want to listen to his information, and it's on. Hold on, you guys. It's called the official Grandmaster J. Okay, that's his site. And I don't know if you guys have seen this young brother. Okay, but I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. Hold on, hold on, let me see if I can come out and do it again. Well, anyway, I just want you guys to see. That's what he looks like, okay? And I'm telling you, he talks about who we are, culture, heritage, which is something that we missed, that was stripped away from us. And I'm telling you, I think it's very important for us to know our heritage and our culture. I think it's important for us to start teaching our children. And I think if we did start teaching, educating our own children, we would begin to see them rising to another standard. I think we would begin to see them come into a new light, which is something that it's time for our children to be taught the truth. And it's time for us as Black folk to understand and know the truth for ourselves. And stop always thinking somebody is lying when they're telling you something great about yourself. This is what integrating has done for us. It was a nightmare. Integrating with them was a nightmare for us. I'm telling you, it was the worst nightmare ever. Because look at this family. Let me just see. Help me to make sense with this. We had our own land, we've had our own homes, we had our own businesses, and we were supporting each other, right? Am I correct? Okay. We had our own bus companies, we had our own hospitals, we had our own schools, and we had Black folk teaching our own children. When they came into integrating, they told them, you can't come and sing with us. You couldn't do this. They had a list of things that our children could not participate in with their children, but they wanted to integrate. Didn't sound like they were trying to integrate. I think we were the only one trying to integrate. They weren't trying to have anything to do with us, but we were so happy to come together with our open enemy, a person that hates you, a person that we had just came from up under them. We had been under them for what, throughout slavery, right? And we got free, started building our own stuff, and we got right back under them. I, how did that make? Does that make sense to anybody? That made no sense to me, even when I was young. When we started doing it, I was like, why are we doing this? I went to a school, and our school was my school. Black folk was on this side, you was back there, and the white folk was up here. We didn't co-mingle, we didn't come together, we didn't play together, we didn't sing together, we didn't have nothing to do with each other. And that's the best thing for it. Now we had, I got in high school and they had a Black history class, and as soon as the Black kids got there, they shut it down. And I signed up. I've always been about Black folk. I was like, what happened to the Black class? And they said, oh, wasn't enough students that signed up for it. I'm like, you guys are full of crap. I said, well, I'm signed up for it, so I wouldn't take the class. But we have to understand they don't want to teach you anything about yourself. They don't want you to know how amazing you are. And we are amazing people. This is why they've tried to keep us down. This is why. And as you guys saw the title said, too white. They are. Everything white to them and to us is right. I mean, you have Black folk that you could try to tell them something, they won't believe it because a white person didn't tell them. I'm like, come on, you guys. How is it that we have forgotten? Did we forget really how they treated us? I mean, let's go back to the 60s. Let's look at some of this stuff. How did they treat Martin Luther King? Weren't they putting the dogs on them? Weren't they spraying them with water hoses? Did we forget? How did we forget how we were treated? I don't understand. I'm gonna do a show about that. How did we forget? They treated us and have treated us like dogs. We move into their neighborhood. I remember way back when I was in high school, and there was an area where I was from. It's from Indiana, and there was an area called Crown Point, Indiana. And I'm telling you, Crown Point, Indiana was the most racist ever. And it was a Black family. He had a business. He had businesses. Okay, and I will never forget this. You can look it up. It's probably in the news. He moved into Crown Point, Indiana, and he was the first Black out there. I don't want to be the first Black of anything. I don't want to be the first Black in the school, the first Black of nothing. Okay, I'm not Rose Parks because I beat and hurt somebody. I just I just can't do the all Black stuff. But anyway, he was the first Black in the neighborhood. And do you not know this was like in, I want to say 82, 80, between 83, 84, 85, up in there. He moved into this all white area, and they burned a cross in his yard. I promise you, in the 80s. And I thought, did you forget when he thought he was? It's funny now, but it wasn't funny because they burned a cross on his yard. This Negro got on TV and said, I can't believe that they still doing this. And this was like 1985 or 1987 or whatever. And now, 2020, we still say that. Black folks still say that when stupid stuff happened. Um, yes, but you have to understand, it's we seem to forget. We seem to forget what and who we're dealing with. These were your slave masters. And let me remind you what slave masters did. Did anybody see Birth of a Nation? I couldn't even watch that movie. I went with my husband, and I'm telling you, I got so mad in that movie. I wanted to fight every white person in that movie. I was talking out loud, and my husband said, "Hey, you need to stop. Get us beat up in here." I was so mad at that movie. I didn't know what to do. When they pulled that man's teeth out. But let me just, they cut our babies out our stomachs. Okay. They fed them to alligators. They raped our men, which was buck breaking. They literally, what that was, they slept with our men in front of their families. So that means not only one man, but he had his friends to come in front of his family, in front of his children, and they had sex, sodomized our black men, sodomized our boys, raped our little girls, raped our women, hung the men. One lady, they hung upside down. She was pregnant, cut the baby out of her stomach. Baby dropped on the ground. They stomped the baby's head. These are the people that we're dealing with even to till today. We seem to forget that we're dealing with their great grandchildren. And I seen a commercial the other day. It was on Field African Diaspora, and the lady, it was a KKK lady, and she said, "I will teach my grandchildren to hate you guys." And they really do. You're not going to tell me that they don't teach their children how to hate us. And we don't understand yet that they don't like us. Because I hear different people say, "Well, I have a best friend named Becky, Karen, whatever, Betsy, Amber." And I look at them and I go, how can we, family, call our enemies friends? I mean, best friends. I look at Candace Owen, and she's married to a white man, and I look at her and some of the stuff that comes out of her mouth for a young lady that was she lived and she sued the mayor of her state son. Okay, she sued the mayor because his son was harassing her, and she had to bring him up and got like what, her $350,000, if I'm not mistaken. She got money, but you mean to tell me, and you had the nerves to come and tell them in front of Congress that there's no more racism? I had a young man on my Twitter feed, and I told him up. He said, "Oh, America is the least most racist, the least most right." And I looked at him. I said, "What do you mean? America is not racist?" I mean, I had to understand what he was saying. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Just because you are white, privileged, and you're not experiencing it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist." And that's what bothers me. I had a white lady that was ranting on about her husband being a police officer and how he was treated bad and blah, blah, blah. I said, "Sweetheart, let me help you. Let me help you out some. Let me just help you. Your husband is probably one of those. You're trying to tell me he's a good officer, but I've not seen any good officers. I've not seen one good officer to stand up that's white. Now I've had an officer and that got fired, and it was two of them that actually got fired. You remember Nikia? What was that lady's name? Nikia. She had gotten fired because she did a rant, okay, on Facebook, and because of her son asking her about a young man that was black that got killed, and she did this super rant, okay, Nikia Jones, and you look her up, and they fired her after that rant. And then you had another black lady of Cariol, Carriol Horn. Now she saw her partner actually choking a black guy, and she tried to get her partner off of the man, and they fired her. He complained on her and fired her. See, this is what I'm saying. Even when the so-called, I've not seen any white officers come. I'm just saying, I'm just calling them out how I see them. But even though when you have two that will come forward and try to say something, okay, they're fired. So I can understand why some don't, but there should be a place for officers to go to complain that's separate than their chief. If I'm coming to you, okay, and I have a complaint against somebody, they're doing something wrong, why would I have to come to my supervisor who I'm complaining against the company that I'm working for? That's just like me if going to my job and complaining about rape. There should be another entity, that they should be able to go to, seeing that, and they should be able to complain anonymously. Okay, they should not. I'm reading some of your comments. They should not be allowed to, be forced to come and complain to your supervisor, and you're probably complain about your supervisor or some of his buddies. You understand what I'm saying? There should be another place. Just why I was saying the other day, yes, I believe in defunding the police and dismantling, not just defund them. Okay, dismantle them, because it's not going to work. We've written laws, right? And a law was just passed about an officer not choking, no chokeholds, right? Okay, did you guys see it on TV, on Facebook? Okay, I watch a lot of YouTube, where an officer was found choking the young man, and the young man fainted. He passed out, not fainted. Me no faint. Okay, but he passed out, and the young man's name was Reginald. What was the young man's name? Oh God, what was Reginald Arrington? And he was handcuffed. His handcuffs, his back was behind, his hands was behind his back, and they was beating the living crap out of this young man. And he was working his feet. Now I'm telling you, he was on the ground and he was working those feet though. But they had so many accounts of assault and battery on this man. This man was getting ready to go to jail for felonies. Okay, they had pulled felonies out the yin yang. And how many others had that happen to? That was probably beaten and then turned around and charges were pressed on them for fighting back. Okay. And that's what they do. So my thing is every officer that they catch and find that has had some kind of disciplinary actions due to racial problems, racial issues, I think they should go through their cases, their past cases, and really do some investigating. I think right now you shouldn't be able to arrest anybody else right now because we already know that they falsify reports. They've put people in jail for years and years faking and falsifying reports and coming up with all kind of crazy stuff and knowing that just like the park what that Central Park Five guys, just like those young men, they went to jail for a long time. Their childhood was literally stolen because of somebody lying, and they knew truth. That's the part about it. And then right there, I think everybody involved in those cases, I don't care if you're 90 years old or half dead, they need to spend the rest of their life in jail. I'm serious. When you are found out that you are lying like that, then you need to go to jail. It's important. I just don't understand how they know that these officers do this and they're still allowed to get away with it. Let me read some of you guys' comment. Carol Harvey, thank you. Yes, Carolyn Harvey, thank you for joining. Mark, thank you. Hey, brother, that's my brother right there. Thank you for joining, you guys. I appreciate you. Let me see who it is. Mr. Real Talk, how are you? Thank you for joining. Strange Fruit, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. I do appreciate all your comments and questions. Let me see what y'all saying on here. Let me read some of them. Thank you for Carolyn for putting that phone number in. Like I said, I do blog talk also, and I'm doing a live. So I kind of try to hit two birds with one stone. Yes, we are the real Israelites. What are you saying? Yeah, strange fruit. I see you saying every culture we do, every culture does support their own except Black people. We are the only ones that cannot seem to be able to do that. And just like we see the Black Caucus who does not do anything, I mean, I'm surprised that they even tried to fake. And that's what they did. They didn't do anything because they passed a law, but you just had a judge that just gave the guy that choked the man out. Okay. He just got probation. So, and this same judge was the one that got Peter Liang off of murder. He shot and killed a Black man, and he got some time. And then one judge gave him time, and this judge, Danny, let him off. And then you had two officers also that raped an 18-year-old girl that they had in their custody. They raped her, and he gave them probation. So New York, Danny Chung, he's a judge. He's coming up for reelection. New York, you need to replace him with somebody else. He needs to be out. Send him back to China, send him back to Asia, send back wherever he came from, Japan, wherever he came from, he needs to be done. Seriously, let him go back home and do all that craziness. It really bothers me how people come over here in this country from other countries, and then they come over here and they try to treat you like you from the ghetto when they came from nothing. Okay, you came from nothing. Some Black folk live better than he ever lived, and you want to sit up here and try now to act like you part of white supremacy. A lot of these foreigners, and this is the sad part about it, a lot of the foreigners come over here, and the America know who's the butt kissers, okay? Because they only allow butt kissing folk, and then they teach them how to, jump on the bandwagon with white supremacy, and we're not tolerating it. We're not doing that, okay? So we try to call them out every chance we can. Let me see what else we're talking about, y'all. Let me see if I can get it to move down some more for me. So, don't forget to like and share, you guys, so we can draw other people in. But I just don't understand. It's a time for us to get to the point where we are really trying to get on code, okay? Because I believe that a lot of our behavior, the code of behavior, was stripped away. Um, we had no leader, and the NFA person, which is Jay, his name is Jay, the official, the guy I just showed you on Instagram. He wants to get together and get um he said he called it something like an NAACP, but he called it something like an NAACP, but black folk backing it, nothing but black folk in it, and black folks supporting black folk. And that right there will be the black voice. Okay, because we don't have that right now. And the NAACP is not, it might be some black faces, but it's backed by Jews. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But we have to understand that it is time for us to do some different things. It's time for us to start thinking different. It's time for us to practice our Second Amendment. I went today looking. I mean, I'm just saying. One guy, one guy at the gun store where I went, and I asked him, what's the best shotgun or rifle? Okay, I was trying to understand, and I did learn something today. Shotgun is what you need. That's got the 9 bullets, the 9 little pellets in it. Okay, and the rifle is the one for hunting. I did learn that. But I said, which one do I need? Show me your best. Show me one you got that I. But he was like, you know what? If you got a pistol, you can use that. I said, I just want to stop him in the tracks. He said, if you got a pistol, you know how to handle it. You'll be able to do something with that. So I'm just saying, you guys, family, let's get in the right mind frame to get our to practice our Second Amendment. Well, I seen something about Cardi B today on Facebook or Instagram, and you're talking about all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, you guys talking about Cardi B when you got white folk out here? There was no guns left. Do you hear me? And black folk ain't doing all that buying up those guns, you guys. They no shotguns. I went to Academy. They didn't have any guns. They had may have 4 in the shelf at Academy, and they had more at the boating place. It was another like it was another gun place. I can't think of it, but they had none. And the guy, the black guy I was talking to, he said, I hate to tell you, but you late to the game. You late to the party. I said, no, I'm not late. I said, I was just looking for something extra, but I ain't late. Okay. It might be some other folk late, but I ain't late. But I'm just trying to help us to understand that it's time to get our mindset right. Because I'm telling you, while we sitting up here going to do our nails, trying to get our weave done, they're at the gun range. They are buying up bullets. They are buying up guns. And if you don't have bullets and guns, I don't know where you're gonna find any from. I'm telling you, you guys better get your mindset right because they are getting ready or they are already ready for something that they're planning. And black folk don't even have we don't have a clue about what they're doing. Yes, Mark, I'm looking at you say they don't treat black people good in China. Um, How they treat us here is how they treat us over there. A black guy in Africa that was from Africa just died. They wouldn't even treat him. They wouldn't even allow him to come in the hospital. So I'm just saying. But we give them our money for nails. We give them our money. I told my daughters they do their nails. I don't do my nails. I polish my own. I'm just saying. I'm not going to give you my money and you don't know how to act. I'm not going to pay you to mistreat me. And just like the police, okay? Let me just help you guys out when these police are, we can get to the place where we are patrolling or policing ourselves. We don't need murderers to come in our neighborhood and to murder us. We don't need that, you guys. Stop calling the police for everything. Remember when I was coming up in high school, we took them to the alley and did what we need to do. It's called street justice. Okay, it is time for us to get busy. Um, oh, okay. Did she, Vicky? Did she? Okay. Yes, okay. But I'm trying to read your comments as I'm talking. But it is time for us to get our mentality right because I think we are losing focus here. There was not one. I mean, they had some, $600, $700 rifles or whatever. But my thing is, he told me shotguns were better. But we have got to stop thinking that our enemies are our friends. We don't have a clue of what's going on. The Chinamen, the Chinese shop, they treat you like crap. And like I said, they just had an African guy. He was over in China and he died because they would not treat him. My thing is, stop. I told Africa, I have a few African friends, and I'm on a lot of their shows also. I do go and do I do a couple shows with the micro African tigers. I'm on with her sometimes, and I keep telling them, I said, "You guys stop. Um, you guys have a beautiful country. Africa is amazing. I am going this year. It is beautiful." And I keep telling people, I said, "Why are you leaving such an amazing country to go to a Neanderthal country, a European country, and be treated like dogs?" I don't understand that. Please help me to find out. I don't understand that. Why do I have to go to another country to be for racism? I said, "You guys don't have to worry about racism, but until you allow the Chinese to come in your country and then treat you like dogs." No. If you go to their restaurant and they tell you, they have, sign up, and they tell you that you can't come, then guess what? You need to shut it down. You can't come in my country and treat me like a dog. How is that possible? Get your butt behind, go back to China with that. No. You have to set the standards. Just like right now, family, we have to set the standards right now. When police officers come to our block, back them up. You can't come down here. And you have one officer sometime that comes to patrol. Block him. Don't let him down there. It's how many people in the neighborhood? Why are we standing there allowing this little thug terrorist who's by himself terrorize a whole freaking neighborhood? How much sense are we that scared? What is going on with black people that we can't fight for ourselves? We act like they're gods walking down the street. What's going on here? What? Please, somebody, please tell me what is going on. What am I missing here? It is just like, you know what? Because they are treated just as bad. They are, yes. But my thing is, okay, it's time for the tribe of Judah. Who is that? Wait a minute. Okay, it's time for the tribe of Judah to stand up and lead okay, let me talk about that. Even with the election coming up, you getting ready to vote for one supremacist to another. Okay. Don't you remember what Joe Biden did to black folk? Why do we forget this? It's so easy for us to forget. Joe Biden put half our kings in jail, family. If you guys forgot. One lady said, I don't judge him on the past. I said, "You're a foolish woman." Because guess what? That means if you were dating a man 2 years ago, he comes back now. He beat the hell out you 2 years ago. He comes back now and he acts like I'm a changed man. Do you accept him back, ladies? Or are you going to judge him by his past? So when she told me that, I said, "You are a foolish woman. That's all we have to judge him by." And the past say this is what he did. Guess what? The future, that's probably still who he is. A zebra don't change their stripes. They can't. Not by themselves. Okay. This man is senile. And he put half of our men in jail. And Clinton put the other half in jail. So now our babies have to grow up with our dads. And he had the nerves on Father's Day to have a post as far as his son, what his dad taught him. I said, "Yeah, your dad taught you how to be a racist." Yeah, I said, and then I told him, I said, "Well, at least you had your dad, because half the men that you put in jail didn't have their dads. Half of the men that you put in jail couldn't be dads to their children that you allowed them to leave. You had them to leave because you backed a law, Biden's law, that your son, who's a drug addict himself, didn't even, he never put your own son in jail. You made laws for black folk, but your son was able to bypass those laws and still today is a drug addict. Okay. But my thing is, we have to understand what's going on. White supremacy is bad in America, but we've got to get our mind frame straight. We have got to stop allowing race soldiers to come in our neighborhood and beat the hell out of us and treat us like, but we're paying their paycheck to abuse us. That makes no sense. I'm not understanding the thinking, the mentality here, black people. I'm not understanding what is it going to take for us to get to the point where we're saying no more. I'm just saying, what is it going? Why aren't we tired? Why aren't we fed up enough? Yes, he is. Joe Biden is just as bad as Trump. We got Satan and the devil. Which one you want to vote for? Somebody say the lesser of two evils. Well, how is the devil lesser than Satan? What? How is Satan lesser than the two evils? I don't understand that. Family, please help me to understand. Why are we doing the same stuff over and over and over? We voted Democrat. Democrats put your butts in slavery. Black folk, do your homework. Yes, Lincoln, he was Republican, right? He got he didn't want to get, let's just straighten this thing out with Abraham Lincoln. He did not want to free slaves. He only did it so therefore the states wouldn't divide. Okay. But he didn't free any slaves. Let's not get it twisted. Y'all quit giving that man that much credit because he said, "I wish it was another way to do it without us releasing the slaves, without us freeing the slaves. You guys wouldn't have been free today." But I'm gonna tell you what, it's time to wake up. You got a dust coming across that started in Africa. They said Sahara Desert dust. That's what they calling it. And it's now in Texas. What is going on? Have you guys thought about that? What is that dust? What does that mean? Where's the dust coming from? This is something that's never happened before. Why the dust? What is going on here? What is the problem? You're right. Drop a dime. You're right. Same bird. Same bird. Just like the same per one person. You got one arm over here, you got another arm. Okay. You got a right arm and left arm, right? You got two hands, 2 feet. Okay. Same person. It's attached to the same body, same mind. They have the same mind. Trump, he's just more out with his. Joe Biden is trying to be more sneaky with his, but he still ain't cut no check. He still don't have a black agenda, but he want black folks vote. But then he asked both of them. And we have to understand the presidents work for you. Kings work for us. Okay. We don't work for them. What does the people want? If the people want the cops dismantled and defunded, then guess what? It's your job to make that happen. If you see that the cops aren't working and integration is not working, then black family, it is time for us to do something else because this integration is not working for anybody. I don't know about you, it's not working for me. It's not worked in a long time. It's not ever worked. We were the only ones that was trying to bring about integration. Remember? Nobody else is trying to integrate with us. But we always wanting to think somebody else's water or somebody else's ice is colder than our ice. And it's not, it's all the same, honey. And I wish we can get people to understand that. I wish we can get people to understand that. Just like I keep asking you guys, was it, well, tell me what's it gonna take for us to get our mindset to understand somebody can abuse you and abuse you and abuse. It's almost like we're in an abusive relationship. You know, you beat us, we come back, you beat us some more, you come back, you apologize, you beat us some more, you come back, you apologize, you shoot us dead, you choke us out, you come back, you apologize. And it's like almost like a sickness. It's a sickness that we have. We have to get abused. We have to get, what is going on? Why is it that we have to get continuously being treated like dogs? Yes, I believe that separation is the only key. Separation. Just like I was started to talk about the NFAC guy was talking about a foundation, and it was a foundation that was all black. It was financed by black folk. Nobody but black folk was on it, and that'll give us a voice for us to come to the table and say, okay, this is what we want to do. This is what we're concerned with, so that the media won't be so apt. Right now, they're still protesting. I've seen some garbage today that really pissed me off. They were singing out there singing, and it was on DC singing, and they singing, and it had everybody out there. Just what are you singing? What do you have to sing about? I'm not understanding. I said, what nonsense is this? I got mad. I had to turn it off after I said my little couple comments, but it's just nonsense. What do you? They talking about they want change. How are you going to get change? Only way you're going to get change is you tear this big, burn this thing down. Just like that judge that let that girl off. Just like the judge who let them two police officers off. Just like the judge who let that one police officer off for choking that guy, and he's not abiding by the laws. Just like that store that George Floyd was at, it should have been burned down. That's why the man was dead, because he had called the police on Floyd, but he had been calling the police all the time. We're not understanding what the focus is, black folk. We don't have demands. We're just marching. What are you marching for? I've not heard anybody come up with demands. They just said, oh, dismantle the police, or, well, one said defund, one said dismantle. I think you should dismantle it, defund it, and rebuild it from scratch. You got to rebuild it from floor up. And you have to have not slave laws, okay? Because that's what the police force was built on. It was slave patrols. So we have to understand where they came from. So a lot of their laws, they still go by the same laws. So nothing is changing. So it needs to be dismantled. You got to come up with new policy. You can't have the same old policy. You got to have a different policy. You cannot continue doing business the same way they've been doing it. But if we don't do something, they're not going to change it. And it's going to take us black folk, sorry to tell you, doing us, doing unto others. I'm going to just say, doing unto others. If you slap me, I'm going to slap you back. If you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back. You step on my toe, I'm going to step on your toe. And then I might step on your child's toe. And then I might step on your wife's toe. I'm just saying, until we get our mind in the game, until we get our mind in the game, you guys, it's not, nothing's gonna change. This is a vicious cycle. We already marched, right? What did marching get us? What's changed? We've been marching what, for a month? What's changed? Let me read some comments. They have demands. Exactly. No demands. They have no demands. That's the thing. We're not telling them what we want. And then when we do, the main thing should be we should be talking about is police brutality. I've heard the LGBT elemental P got some laws passed. So that's almost like a slap in our face to say, hey, you can march if you want to. We gave them something and we still ain't gave you nothing. And that's all they're saying. But black folks still don't get it. You still gonna tell them you're gonna vote for Biden. Yes. Separation is the only key, you guys. I don't understand why we don't understand that. People are afraid to separate because one man said, "Oh, you're bringing back segregation." I said, "No, it's called separation. Something we shouldn't have ever integrated with our open enemy. You don't become friends with your enemy. If I'm trying to poison you, why would you want to come and eat at my house?" Okay, drop dime. What are you saying? Stop being a bit. Hold on, let me tell you something. I don't know who this is, and really, I don't even pay attention to. Okay, I don't pay attention to people that come in here and talk crazy. My thing is, we don't have to play the victim. Okay, we don't ever have to play the victim because we're not victims. I'm just trying to get us to understand that it is time for us to get our mind right. It is time for us to do better, and it is time for us to do unto others as they do unto us. That's all I'm saying. It is time for us to do something, and we know that. So guess what? We don't have to act. We don't have to play victims. We know what we're supposed to be doing, and that's it's time for us to do it. So you're right, but we're not playing a victim. But anyway, my thing is, it is time for us to get it together and understand what's really going on here. And if they're just like I've seen, let me just tell you about this thing. I've seen 7 people, okay, 6 people, I'm sorry, um, being hung. Okay. We had a woman and we had 2 men. Hold on, let me be sure. We had a woman, we had a teenager, and we had 5 men, okay, to be hung. We need to do something. I don't know. And they keep saying it's suicide without even doing any investigation. Okay. It's time for us to do something. Yes, but also it talks about that in Romans 11:25, also about us being blinded. But do you understand right now we're waking up? Okay. So it's not like we're to stay blinded. Okay. When somebody comes to you and they tell you some new information, instead of you disagreeing with the information right away, it's best to say, well, let me investigate that. Because I know me coming up, when somebody would come to me with some new information that I've never heard, I knew that it was always Yah. It was getting ready to introduce me to some new information that I didn't hear before. So it was up to me to go and investigate it. So yes, I do understand about Deuteronomy. I do understand that. Yes, integration was a war strike. It was to weaken us, and they did a good job. Just like separating when they told us that gave us the welfare, and they told us that we couldn't have our men in the home. That was a weakening tool. Also, that was something else. Now you have foreigners coming over here from different countries, okay, and they can have their man, wife, husband, son, daughter, kids, grandma, uncles, aunts in home, right? But we couldn't, okay, and they still have that law to get today. Any young girl that's renting an apartment on Section 8, they'll tell them you can't have a man, you can't have your baby's dad, you can't have a man living with you. They're still doing that discrimination even to today. And now, if we are smart and we have attorneys on here, we can file a lawsuit because you can't have foreigners that can have their husbands, and you're gonna tell black folk they can't have theirs. That's discrimination right there. I don't understand where our civil rights attorneys are that cannot um, file charges, because guess what, our rights, the 14th, the 13th, 14th, and 15th amendment has been violated, and they violate the 13th amendment all the time. Go and look it up. We shouldn't even look like we've been in slavery, and we do. We look worse. There's nothing changed since 1963 for black people. Actually, it's getting worse. And if we don't use this time right now to actually get, and I hope right now this week you guys are not patronizing white businesses. I hope you're taking your black dollars and supporting each other. Okay. And I do believe that we need a supermarket. I do believe that we need a community mom pa supermarket on every corner. I do believe that we should be pulling our monies together. So if you got some black people in the neighborhood, open up a store and start small with a couple canned goods here, a couple canned goods here. And you have, remember we used to buy meat. Remember we used to have those papers and we check off the different meat, and the guy would drop the meat off to your house, or he would come to a certain location and everybody that ordered meat from him would come there and pick up that meat that day. Why aren't we doing that today? Why are we still going? See, we as black folk, we want change. We look for change, but we're looking for somebody else to do it. Why aren't we doing it ourselves? Why are we looking for white folk, white supremacy, Trump, Biden to do what for us? You know what? And it bothers me when I hear black folks say, "Oh, it's going to be different with Biden." I'm like, why do you think that? White supremacy is going to be what? White supremacy is going to do for what for black folk? What have they ever done for you? So why is it that we think that this man that already showed you how he felt about you is going to do anything different for you? How does it work together? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. 2/3 are going to die, dry bones. 2/3 are going to die. And that's what he said. The ones that want to get it. And I told the guy at NFAC, I said, if you want to do this, go ahead and do it. Let's do it. Why not? Get the foundation. I'm in. Show me what, show me. Let's sign up. Because I think that we should start somewhere. And I think that if we don't try to do something, we have to start somewhere. Okay. And this is a great start. And if this is a black company or a black independent um, what do you facility, or a black NAA, not the NAACP, but something similar to it, but it's all black. If we can do one of them, I think that'll be fine. I think we need something. I think we have to start from somewhere, and we're not starting from anywhere right now. And it's up to us to start. And if we don't start it, guess what? Don't expect them to do anything for you. Don't expect them to get to write any new laws. Don't expect anything. We also need a place, a black facility to investigate like these hangings. Don't trust the FBI because you know you have the Klan, KKK on the FBI, KKK with the police department, KKK with sheriff's department, KKK with the hospitals. We need our own black clinics. We need our own hospitals. We need our own. We have enough money, you guys, that we can do this. We have black doctors out here that can open up a small clinic in a black neighborhood. We have doctors and dentists that can do this for us. Okay. But will they? That's the thing. We have to be willing to support one another. You have some, but you have a whole lot of black doctors that's too busy cooning around and trying to fit in with the white doctors. I'm just saying, this it needs to stop. We've had enough. It's time. Yep, group economics. Who talks about that? Dr. Claude Anderson, his books, Powernomics, right? Talks about it all the time. And if we don't do it, and if we have $1.2 trillion, why can't we pool our monies together? Some of this stuff that we're needing, we can do ourselves. Just like I talked about the community store, get 5 or 10 people, 5 people. Why not a whole community, black community that can pull your monies together, that can open up a store and take a list of stuff that you want, and you might start out really small, canned goods, milk, bread, just something really small for now. But guess what? You keep on doing it and it'll work and it'll grow. But you have to start somewhere. You can't say what we need and nobody's willing to do anything. We have to start. Just like my retired vets here, you can start patrolling your own neighborhoods. You could get a group of you guys that live in the same neighborhood that's retired vets that want to do, and you guys can patrol your own neighborhoods. We don't need to call police officers for anything. Just like that story where the neighborhood. Okay, I was talking to Mark about it earlier. The neighborhood where the police officers they were called because I guess 2 girls had come up missing. Okay, and they knew, they I guess they kind of knew it was something with this one house. Okay, and they called the police officer out to talk about the girls being missing, and they wouldn't investigate. They wouldn't do anything. So the neighbors found out where the girls were, and they actually burned the house down. Yes, they did. They burned the house down. I don't know if they were black, that and this was a sex trafficking in the neighborhood. So let me ask you a question. Why that house should have been burned down? Okay, when you first saw moving in. Okay, this is why you should know your neighbors. Okay, if this is a black neighborhood and you got foreigners moving in it, you need to find out what those foreigners doing. You need, because those foreigners are real big on trafficking our children. You know that. So if you come in and set up in the midst of us, and we don't know anything about you, somebody should have been finding out why these foreigners, for one, want to live around us, because foreigners don't want to live around black folk. Okay, find out why they there, what's your goal, what you doing, what's going on. Okay, because I remember back in the day, they would ask the person before they came down the block, who you looking for, what you doing in this neighborhood, what you need right here, what family you know, what family you're affiliated with, right? Why we don't do that now? We don't even know our neighbors. That was the cause of gentrification. That was why they gentrified us, because they didn't want us to stick together, divide and conquer. Okay, you divide the Negroes up. Who we gonna go to? White folk. Who? What they gonna help us do? What? You have to understand, all of this was planned out like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the line. They plan stuff for this. They plan stuff like this. And we fall right into it. Why is it that we still trust in people that have done nothing but hurt us for a long time? Why do we still trust that? I'm breaking my bones trying to understand that. We don't get it yet. What is it going to take? When is enough going to be enough? Somebody please answer that in the chat, please. When is enough going to be enough? I'm going to take my glasses off, see my chat. When is enough going to be enough? I don't understand it. I don't know what's it going to take. I don't understand it. We are trusting and we're looking for white folk to save us. Family, we don't have any friends. We really don't. We have nobody but each other. And if we don't come together, we're not going to make it. If we don't understand what's really going on, because do you actually believe that those people are hanging themselves? Men, stop going out by yourself. I know you think you're tough, but I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. Let me see what you're talking about. I do. My people. I'm telling you. But I want us to understand. I want us to let's go deeper here. I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. I really do believe that it's police officers. Just like in Chicago, I've always believed that it was because I had family in police, in Chicago. I still do. And they would they would say, "Hey, we had another shooting." And I said, "Well, did they arrest anybody?" They said, "No, they are never able to find anyone." I don't believe that. Anytime that there's a shooting, you always, before, it would be gang members, so and so, or this gang or that gang, right? You mean now all of a sudden nobody is ever arrested and 60 some people are shot on a weekend, a holiday? I remember one year's Memorial Day, 60 some people got shot, and probably maybe, I think it was like one or two deaths. But you had all those shootings, drive-bys, and nobody saw anything and nobody was arrested. Something ain't sounding right there. Something don't sound right. Something don't sound right. I'm sorry. That don't sound right to me, family. I'm telling you, you're not gonna tell me that these police officers, because let's look at the history. The history. Remember when the boys in Mississippi came up missing? Who stopped them? The police let them out late at night, right? Who stopped them? Police, right? Come on, you guys. If the KKK is still, if you're telling me that the KKK is the police, okay, they infiltrated the police. You think they're not going to use their power to pull them over, okay, and to possibly handcuff them and take them somewhere and hang and to have some of his friends to meet him over there and hang these people? Because guess what? I'm not going to come without a fight unless you got on a uniform. You feel me? I'm not going to come without a fight, because if two men from the KKK that I don't know and they're trying to kidnap me, I'm gonna fight for dear life, right? But if it's a police officer and you handcuff me and take me to some of your buddies, what's gonna happen? We got to go deeper. This is, man. Y'all better work with, y'all better come open our eyes and let's think about what's going on. Love, what's going on? When you see a police officer stop you, fellas, okay, you stay on guard. If he talking about taking you out the car, remember the one officer walked up to this man on Facebook and he said, "Oh, you look like whoever person that robbed the house. And the dude say, dude, what's my name? He couldn't even tell the man the name of the person, the perpetrator that he thought he looked like. But he was talking about he was going to take him in. He said, no, you're not kidnapping me. That's called kidnap. He said, you're not kidnapping me. And I mean, that dude didn't go. And his wife was taping. What if his wife wasn't there? What if his wife wasn't there taping? I'm just saying, we have got to take, I mean, you've got to be careful, family. We women, you better have a taser. You better have a your mace. Because I'm gonna tell you what, at this restaurant here by where I live, the Bojangles, three men in the car pulled up and they had ordered food. She gave them the food and they said, we want three drinks. She said, I can't do that. They wanted three free drinks. She said, I can't do that. Do you not know they spit in her face? But I'm gonna tell you what, if I was there and I was by that window, I would have had my mace, my hand on my mace. I'm telling you. And when they opened their mouth to spit, I would have sprayed the heck out of them. I'm just saying. My thing is, you're not there to take, you are not there to work on these jobs to take abuse. And if you are taking any type of abuse, shame on you. If you don't love yourself enough to protect you, and you go to your general manager, and the general manager told her to get back on the window when she complained, and that car got back in line, okay, and was coming around again. So so the general manager said, I'm gonna take them at this window. So the general manager took their and gave them three free sodas. So they have protested that Bojangles. They're not, and it's been busy, it's not been busy. No cars have been at this Bojangles for weeks. I'm just saying, it is time for us to stick together. It is time for us to back one another, and it's time for us to get back on code. This is why it's so important for us to teach our own children so that we can instill in them a code of behavior. We don't have a code of behavior. That's what's going on right now. And until we start teaching our own children and pouring into them who they are and whose they are, and it's Deuteronomy 28, because he said, never forget. And we have forgotten, and we've not passed it down to our children. That's what's going on now. So until we do what we're supposed to be doing, things not gonna get better. I don't care who you put in office. You can put Trump's son in office because that's who's running next time. Trust and believe me. After both Joe Biden, if Joe Biden don't get it in, Trump get it back in there. His son running next. So you're not gonna only gonna have Trump for the next 8 years. You're gonna have his son for the next 8 years. So what are you guys gonna do, Black family? I'm just saying, y'all better think about this thing. Because I'm gonna tell you, Trump is probably gonna get in there again. That's enough, that's 4 years. And then his son is gonna run. That's another 8 years. That's 16 years of Trump people. Oh my God. Did we lose our mind here? If we don't do something, family, we're gonna be in trouble. We can't do another 4 years. We can't do it if we don't start voting locally. And I keep telling people we can vote locally. Let me read some of your comments. We can vote locally and replace some of these judges like Judge Danny, get him out of there. We can replace the mayors, those mayors that's not doing what they're supposed to do, like the mayor in Georgia. Okay. We can run for a city board, school board, city council. We can run for these local offices. We can run like these Congress and Senate position. You got a young woman, Angeline. She was in jail for. She's running for Congress again, trying to take Joe Lewis's spot. Y'all look this up. Joe Lewis, John Lewis. I'm sorry, Lord have mercy, John. Whatever his name is, you know what I'm talking about. The men, civil rights men, ain't never done nothing since Martin Luther King died. And people say, they talk about the civil rights leaders. And I said, honey, all the good ones dead. What you talking about? I said, have you thought why Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, John Lewis, and Eugene, what was the other guy? Eugene, whoever, that just died. I said, have you guys thought about why they still living? Because they don't do nothing. They not threat to white folk. That's why they still living. They lived a good old life, didn't they? Gave Al Sharpton his own radio station, and they made John Lewis congressman for 50 years. He's been in Congress since 1963, I'm sure, or 70 or something like that. Gave him a position in Congress. Jesse Jackson, he been over there doing whatever he been doing, and he's still alive because them Negroes ain't done nothing for honey. They sat in their little corner, licked their little wounds, and they said, we're not doing nothing. Them niggas on their own. And that's exactly what we've been since 1963. We have been on our own. But I'm going to tell you what, you guys, we have got to stick behind this MFAC guy. I'm telling you, this dude's talking some good stuff. And we have got to think about our future. And we're going to talk about this next week. What's next? What is next? After we get fed up, what's next? Do we fight? Do we stay? Do we leave? my thing is, I don't want to fight for something that's going to be destroyed. You guys don't know America's going to be destroyed. Do you not know this world will never be the same? This world as we know it will never ever be the same. We're looking for things to go back the way they were. They're not. They talking about making you mandatory wear masks, mandatory all day, every day. I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. Do you not know how dangerous? I did a show last week, and I know it was a little muffled. I found it out after I was half done. That those masks are dangerous. You're sucking up your own carbon monoxide. You're feeling dizzy. You're feeling dehydrated. You're feeling all these crazy feelings because you're being poisoning. You're poisoning your own body. So why am I poisoning my own body? Why would I allow the devil who's trying to kill me to kill me? Why would I know what you're doing and I go along with it? Because of who you are. I don't care who you are. You would. Do you see Trump wearing a mask? Any of y'all? Have y'all seen Trump wearing a mask? Answer me that. Then why the heck y'all black folk got on the mask? Wash your hands like you're supposed to. Get your Lysol. Take your immune medicine and some other stuff. Islam talks about what you can do. You drink your hot teas, drink your lemon, your honey, your garlic, your ginger, not your garlic. Drink your ginger, your honey, lime. Drink your alkaline water. Get you some immune vitamin C. Drink that. Get you some immune vitamins, gummy bears. Eat that. Come on, there's things that we can do that we don't get sick. I'm just saying. It's time for you to use your head and stop thinking about doing every time the government tell you stuff. Every time the government tells us to do something, we do something, then we harm ourselves. You already know what they're trying to do. If they tell you to do something, do the opposite. Come on. I talked about Anthony Fauci. He was involved in Ebola. He was involved in HIV. He was involved. Okay, remember Ebola? How it started in Africa because they was even the HIV. They was giving them vaccines, and they had the HIV in it. Okay, and even with Ebola, the same thing. Okay, but guess what? When those remember the white doctors and nurses over there, the missionaries was getting it. What they do? They brought them home. They got healed, didn't they? But they left them sick over there, didn't they? That's how dirty this country is. And you think I'm gonna do something this country is telling me to do to detriment for my detriment? I'm not doing nothing they tell me to do. I'm not doing it. I'm just saying. Y'all can sit up there and wear the mask 24 hours a day if you want to. I'm not doing it. And y'all better be smart too. Keep folk out your face. Folk ain't got no business being in your face anyway. But my thing, do what you got to do. Get your Lysol. Get your immune pills. If you keep your immune system up, you eat healthy, drink your alkaline water. Alkaline water. That's what you need to drink. Alkaline. Leave that regular water, bottled water alone. Get you some alkaline water. Your body, and look at Dr. Sebi. He talked about having an alkaline body. Get some of this acid out your body. You guys got to do something different. If you want to beat this, you want to beat them at their own game, you got to do something different. We got to start supporting us and doing some things different. Stop giving them your money. We can break this country. Do you understand that, family? We can break this country. We can break it. We are giving them our $1.2 trillion every chance we get. This week was a week we weren't supposed to be buying black. How many of y'all stuck to that? How many stuck to it? How many stuck to it? If you had to get a few groceries, you don't overdo it. I hope y'all didn't get no fireworks from them crackers, them po white crackers in them firework booths. I hope you don't get 1 ounce of fireworks from them. Not one. Let them crackers keep them fireworks. Let them go over there. You got tents here. Let them keep them fireworks. I wouldn't buy one darn firework from them. You ain't got no business burning up your money anyway. Keep your money in your pocket. 4th of July, you were still darn slaves anyway. Your time was last weekend, which was on the 19th of June. That's Juneteenth. That's the day if you want to celebrate something. I'm just saying. It is time for us to do something different. It's time for us to have a different mindset. We got to change our mindset. I don't know if you got to get up and write it on a piece of paper. This is the year we're going to change our mindset. This is the day I'm going to change my mindset. Different. You got to do something different. It's time for us to come together. It's time for us to have like minds. It's time for us to think. It's time for us to think different. We got to bring our thinking into one accord, you guys. It's time for us to allow Yah to transform our minds. And that's what he wants to do. Let me ask you a question. Help me out here. What if Help me think, help me think this out. You know, I'm always thinking, what if y'all was allowing things to continue to happen to us the way it is every day? It used to be once every 6 months, or every 3 months, or every other month, or every used to be, but now we seeing a cop murdering a black person every day. Am I correct? What if Yahshua was allowing that to happen to run you back to him? You know how some people do you so wrong? You'll be with this guy. Okay, for instance, you'll be on a job, right? And stuff will begin to happen on this job, and you'd be like, dang, why everything keep happening? The machine broke down, your car broke down, you broke the machine, your supervisor wrote you up, your super different stuff. And I remember one time I was on the job and I went in to punch in one day and I couldn't punch out. I went in to punch in, I couldn't punch in. And I knew he was telling me something. I knew what he will give you signs when he's trying to do things, okay? He was trying to show me that he had a different spot for me making more money. But I was holding on right here because of fear, because I didn't know the future, because I was like, oh my God, what happens if you don't have it? What da? But sometimes we have to trust him, you guys. What if he is doing this and allowing this to happen on purpose? What if he wants you to leave America? Would you do it? I'm just saying. If he wanted you, if he was trying to get you to get so uncomfortable that the great exodus happens, which is coming, would you be prepared to leave? Yes, we have homes. Yes, we have stuff. But would you miss the exodus by holding on to stuff? Or would you be obedient and leave? That's my question to you. Think about that question because it's going to be a great awakening. We're awakening now. And you know how I know we're awakening now? Because I saw something that happened globally. This pandemic happened globally. That's a curse. It's not going to happen like that if it's not a curse. It's not going to be globally. This corona was global. You feel me? And then they marched and protest globally. I seen Amish people out there. Did you guys see the Amish? Did y'all see the Amish? Let me see. Who saw the Amish out there? We'll turn to him, yes. We'll turn to him, yes. I hear you saying that. But we're going through hell, dry bones, and we still not turning to him, are we? I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking for a friend. We are going through hell globally right now. Are we turning to him? Not like we should. We still being Christianized. We still serving our open enemy masters God, white Jesus. We still thinking that we were Christians when we got on them boats. We were not Christians. So we have no business being Christians today, you guys. We were never Christians. We believed in the Torah. We were Israelites. We weren't doing all of this crazy stuff. A lot of what they've taught you is lies. A lot of what we learned was lies. Some of these books that we should be learning, we should be reading, the book of Enoch, the Apocrypha. It's a lot of books that we should be reading that we're not. That'll help us to understand who and whose we are. But until we open up our eyes and see and understand what we need to be seeing and understanding, we're gonna stay stuck. And we're gonna co- we're gonna continuously keep going through the stuff that we're going through now. Why we keep going through the same stuff over and over? It makes no sense to me. I'm gonna show you a list of books. Well, I'm gonna read off a list of books. The Lost Book of Enoch, okay, is a book that we should be reading. The Nymphalians and the Pyramid of the Apocalypse. I'm just saying, it's time to be free, right? I'm on the Enoch. Okay, let me read. Let me spell this one for you. It's Anunnaki Chronicles. Okay, these are some books that I've ordered. Yes, it is. But we don't understand how satanic it really is. We've served, let me just tell you one thing that they've done. You remember we started eating chitlins, right? Why did we start eating chitlins? They know who we are. They know it was certain things that we couldn't eat, wasn't supposed to eat. But what did they do? They introduced us to sin, homosexuality, same-sex marriage, abortion, fornication, adultery. We knew how to do this before. We weren't, because this is why he said, learn not the ways of the heathens, come from among them. Okay. Don't be unequally yoked, right? This is why he said that. He knew that he didn't want us coming together with them. So Martin Luther King, for real, I don't know who he heard, but he didn't hear y'all because y'all never told us to mix and mingle with our demons. He never told us to mix and mingle with our open enemy. And that's what Martin Luther King told us, right? So that's how I know. I'm going to tell y'all, black folk, y'all going to have an issue with this. That's how I know Martin Luther King was a plant. Because exactly what y'all told us not to do, Martin Luther King said he had a dream, which was a nightmare for black folk, right? Because that dream was the worst thing we could have ever did. And that came together with our open enemy. Because he told us, learn not the ways. And what we do, they gave us chitlins and we ate them and we made a delicacy out of what? I'm gonna be nasty here. I'm getting ready to be nasty. Out of a pig's dookie hole. I'm just saying. You are eating the lining. That is the little. Let me just. I'm gonna be real nasty. You know where the dookie comes up? It's the holder. Okay, you're eating the. Okay, this thing holds the dookie hole. You're eating that lining. I'm just saying. I want to make it so nasty that y'all never pick up another bowl of chitlins. And who would clean them things and pull the? Who would do that? Who wants to play in? Y'all was literally playing in dookie. I'm just playing. Who wants to do that? Yes, he was. But a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand their dry bones, and they'll get offended by that. But I'm telling you, he was a government plant. That's why they killed him because at the end he understood, and that's when he said, "I'm going to get my check," and he died. Right? You have to understand. Listen to all of his speeches. Was okay. We coming together with black girls and black boys, and we gonna do this with the white girls and white. That's not what y'all told us. He told us in Deuteronomy 7:1, he told us not to mix and mingle our blood. We're not supposed to be marrying our enemy. We're not supposed to be dating them. We're not supposed to be having kids with them. We're not supposed to even be around them. We're not even supposed to be voting for them. Only Israel is supposed to be voting for Israel because Israel is supposed to be leading Israel. We're not supposed to be letting them white devils lead us. And we have opted out to let them lead us. Why would you allow them to lead and guide you and act like there's nothing else we can do? Because I'm gonna tell you what, I started telling y'all to vote locally, right? Why aren't we voting locally and getting some of these people out of office who's not doing their jobs? We can run and we can come as a block and support each other locally. You can say, hey, I'm running over here. We get behind you and we vote you in. But more than one has got to run. If you running for mayor, if you running for city council, that means it has to be three of you guys in order to make a change. Let me see, Professor Truth talked about that on his show. Okay, excuse me, talked about us running for office and talked about if you running for mayor, if you're running for city council, make sure it's three of you guys so that you can kind of, you can change some things. One person can't change anything, but three of you guys can. I'm just saying. But it is time for us to do something different. It's time for us to think different. It's time for us to know that we are all we got. We don't have nobody else. Look around you. Nobody else like you. He said in his word, they will have a perpetual hatred for you. Who's he talking about? Who's they? They will have a perpetual hatred for you. Open your Bibles to Revelations 2 and 9. He said, what? I know they stole your identity. He said, I know. The synagogue of Satan told them I synagogue of Satan. He said, I know they stole your identity. He knows. He told you. But guess what? Our pastors ain't reading that, is he? Because ask the pastor what that means. Ask the pastor, who are you talking about? Who stole whose identity? For one, who stole whose identity? And who's the synagogue of Satan? Those are two questions. Ask your pastor. Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9. It was so important that he went back to back talking about it. Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9. He said, I know they stole your identity. They are the synagogue of Satan. Read it. I'm just saying, it's time for us to wake the heck up. Because guess what? Things are happening in the spirit realm that we're not even understanding. He said, you watching, he said, you watch Israel. Watch Israel, and you'll find out what's the sign of the times. We don't even have 4 seasons anymore, you guys. We don't have 4 seasons anymore. Did anybody recognize that? Did anybody realize that? We didn't have 4 seasons. But nobody is understanding that, are you? Nobody is understanding that. Why? Where's that dust coming in? Why is the dust? You remember a year ago, it was the eclipse made it X. 2024, another X is coming. Okay, it's gonna be two X's across America. What you think that is? Y'all better get this right. You better understand and know what y'all is telling you. Understand what's his plan. Ask him. Are we to stay or are we to leave? We're gonna have a great exodus, and I hope you're ready. Because if you stay here, you are going to die. If you cooning around, coons can stay. I'm just saying, because we don't need no coons. Because I'm gonna tell you what, let a coon come where we going. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm gonna leave it. I'm just saying. We don't need coons where we going. We need black folk that have a heart after black folk, that have a mindset after black folk, that want to learn their culture and want to be black. No more of this. I'm gonna settle because it's easier to coon with my best friend. It's easier for me not to be black. It's easier for me to act like I'm safe. It's easier for me not to go along with the program. It's easy for me to sell my people out. It's easy. We're done with that. And I'm gonna tell you what, every coon should have been dealt with in the past. All we had to do was deal with one of them. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, I'm gonna tell you what, y'all. I don't advocate violence at all, but they should have been dealt with because we already know that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton had something to do with Martin Luther King death. Y'all know that because it's already come out. But I'm gonna tell you what, they allowed it. So they and their family should have been dealt with because biblically, every time you was a traitor, they dealt with you. And not only did they take care of you, but they took care of your family and everything that was attached to you, and including your animals. Am I right? Am I correct, family? I'm just saying. I did not want to come on here and stay a whole long time, you guys. I just wanted to come on because I want you guys to understand. I want us to see what's going on. I want us to see the writing on the wall. I want us to see that it is time. America is finished. You're right. America is done. And the destruction is on its way. You're saying that, but what are you going to do about it, Dry Bones? When we say the destruction, are you going to be in the midst of it? Are you going to be in the midst of it? The only place where it's going to be safe is Africa. I keep telling people that, and people looking at me like, what? Land in Africa is $500. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just saying. I'm going to tell you my plan. Y'all could do whatever you want. Landing it in Tanzania. Well, depending on where you go, Tanzania, Gambia, um, Ghana is a little more expensive. Kenya's a little more expensive, but land in Tanzania, Ghana, there is land between Zimbabwe and Zambia. That's like $500. That's land. You can get land on the coast, on the water, for $500. No more than $1,200. No more than $2,000. I'm just saying. It is time for you to think about your exodus. It is time for you to think about it. And you know, California is going to be underwater. I have a daughter in San Diego. I'm just saying, it is time for Californians to think about making that exit. Y'all got a lot of water around y'all. I'm just saying. And y'all have earthquake after earthquake after earthquake after earthquake. Where you gonna go, honey? I'm just saying. It's time for us to think about what's all of this about. Let's see the bigger picture. I know some people think, oh my God, leave America. Do you want to stay and be destroyed? Because he said 2/3 will die. 2/3, that's a lot. They're going to die. That's a lot. And you know why they're going to die? Because they're either coons or they're not hearing his voice. You need to get to him and understand what is his plan and when is your exit. Because we are going to exit America. I'm telling you, everybody, they are going to put everybody out. China, going back to China, and they've started that in Africa, have they not? They started sending Chinese back out, right? Why? You have to understand Africa is going to be the only safe place. It's going to be a certain place in Africa. You have to understand. And they keep saying it's by the Sahara Desert. I'm not sure, but that's what I keep hearing. But you got to do more homework, you guys. But I'm just saying, it's time for us to make a move. And we've been abused for so long, and they keep abusing you, and y'all keep allowing it, but we're not getting it. We're not putting two and two together. Why aren't we putting two and two together? Why are we so addicted to abuse that we don't understand that we have to make some moves? Yes, we have homes here, but guess what? You can have another one there. What's a home? You rather die with your home? You rather die where he's destroying America? Because he needs you to move out of the way, Israel, so that he can destroy America. You guys have to see the bigger picture. If you don't see the picture, why would you stay here and fight for a country that's going to be destroyed? Some people say, I'm not leaving America. We built this country. I understand that. But why are you fighting for something that's going to be destroyed? Why would you want to? You got drug dealers fighting over a corner that doesn't belong to them. Why would you die for a corner that has somebody else's name on it? Does your name belong? Is your name on that corner? Did you buy that corner? Then why are you fighting over a corner that's not yours? I'm just saying. I'm gonna read some comments. Africa's going to be judged, but he's going to put you somewhere. He's got a place, and it's called the Great Exodus. And if you read some of those books that I mean, Africa's going to be judged because they did have something to do with it. But you also have to understand what's going on here. And just like if you read in the New Key Chronicles, you can read that, the Lost Book. There were giants upon the earth. I don't know if you guys believe in that or not, but I do. Um, Behold a pale horse, um, Fahrenheit 451. I mean, these are different books that you can start to read to understand the truth. Because a lot of what we were reading, there's another book that we are supposed to be reading. I can't think of it now, because of a lot of the King James version was, if you're reading anything over the 1611 Bible, the reversions, the revision, being revised and stuff is incorrect information. But I know that's another story for another day. I don't even want to have to get into that, but there is a place in Africa where he is taking us, and it is in Africa, and they're saying it's in the Sahara Desert. So yes, but there, and that's called the Great Exodus. So look up the Great Exodus, and that'll kind of help you understand what I'm saying. And that's why I keep talking about Africa, because I know that there's a place in Africa where we are going to where we're going to go to escape. Okay, so you have to just have an open mind. Let me see what y'all saying. Yes, when we are obedient and always receiving instructions, the two-thirds are going to be saved and gather out of, yes, got all, yes, I believe that. I do believe that. And we're going to know where to go. But my thing is, I am just so sick and tired of seeing what I'm seeing in America. I need some peace and I need some rest right now. And my plans are to go and get me some land. That's my plan for now. And when he get ready to gather me from there, then I'm gonna go the rest of the way. But right now, I just need some peace. Rather, I get to go back and forth every 2 or 3 months, come back and forth. That is my plan. But each his own. I'm just saying. I'm tired of what I'm seeing. And if black folk don't want to, my thing is, if we're gonna stay here, they've got to carve some land out for us to grow. They've got to carve some land out for just us, and they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna carve any land out for just us. So it is time for us to I mean, do you want to sit here and take a chance on being next, or take a chance on your grandchild being next, or your grandson? I don't want to take a chance on nobody in my family being next for anything. I need some peace right now, and I'm so willing to go there to get it. But I did not want to be on here super long. I just wanted to give you guys something to think about, And my question is, enough is enough. When are we tired, and why aren't we tired now? Why are we still hanging on for a land that's going to be destroyed? Why are we still, trying to fight to stay? I don't understand that. But that's another subject for another day. Like I said, I am here every Thursday, and if you want to look hit me up, it's called The Changing of the Gods. Okay, The Changing of the Gods, and you'll be able to go on Blog Talk Radio, the blogtalkradio.com, and it's look up that title. It's called Current Affairs, and it's called The Changing of the Gods, and you'll be able to see a lot of stuff that I've already put out there. Or Reconstruction 2020 was previously what I called it. So those are some old things, old stuff that I've talked about already. And I just want you guys, that's too, I think I appreciate everybody that took the time to check in. And like I said, I'm going to still be on Blog Talk for another 30 minutes. So if you guys want to call in, if you want to switch over, you can. That number is 563-999-3682. Yes, 563-999-3682. And that's Blog Talk Radio. I'm here every Thursday, and I try to do a radio live, YouTube live, and Blog Talk live at the same time. I do appreciate you guys for tuning in, family, and I hope you think about something I've said. With that said, YouTube, you guys have an amazing rest of your week. Peace, family.